Hey guys, it's Heather Brown with Midnight Serenity, and today we are going to put together the Hocus Pocus Amuck Amuck Amuck. So if you have my DIY kit, you should have your blank with an F for front. Sorry, I know the video is backwards. If you're new here, my videos are raw videos. I don't know how to edit. So what you get is what you get, me talking, going through all of the steps. So, all right, so you have that. You have the Amuck in orange. You get in the camera here. You have Amuck in white. You have her purple hair, the yellow hair, and the orange hair. All right, so those are your pieces, and we are going to put them all together. All right, so first of all, you're going to peel off the top brown layer, and you can do that with your nail or with a weeding pen. I peel only one side, that way if I have any drippage that goes over to the other side, it is still protected. So everything that I do, you will see me doing only on the front. All right, so we're going to take, you can use any type of dish. These are silicone dishes that I get from resinrockers.com. I will link them in my bio, in the description below. There is a 5% discount for first-time customers. And we are going to use the Resin Rockers UV Resin Hard Type. I do carry the hard type in my store. I have the 1 ounce 30 gram. I also have 250 gram and the great big kilogram. All right, so we are just going to fill this up. You're going to fill it up about 1/4 of the way. All right, and then we are going to go ahead and add our glitter. And this one, we are using Obsidian from Glitter and Grand. I found this company and their prices are amazing. And if I can get them open, sometimes they're hard to get open. All right, and you're not going to use all of the glitter that was sent in your DIY kit. So what I recommend is just taking like your stir stick and putting in about 3 scoops. You can also use a little spoon, anything like that. I'm gonna go ahead and add 4. If you're using a little spoon, 3 scoops is pretty good. All right, so you're going to stir that in slowly. Never use a wooden stick, so you never want to use like a popsicle stick or anything like that, because a popsicle stick will cause air bubbles because it is porous, because it has sawdust on it, you know, even though it looks like it doesn't. So never use a popsicle stick to stir any type of epoxy or resin. You'll get a lot of air bubbles. So you're just going to slowly mix everything up. Make sure that it's nice and covered. And then I always start in the center. You can either pour it on from your little dish, or you can scoop it out, whichever you prefer. And I start with about a dime size piece, and then we are going to push it out to the edges. And you'll notice with your glitter and your resin, it's kind of, you have the black glitter, but it's a little bit see-through-ish. And you don't want to put too much glitter in with your resin, because if you do, it will not cure properly. So you want to be sure that you have enough room for the light to go through your resin and cure it. If you need more, just take some more out of your little dish and continue spreading carefully. Again, always start from the inside and work your way out to the edges. Think of it like painting a picture. They're mowing outside. It's such a beautiful fall day here in Michigan. All right. And just gonna get the last few bits here. And one more, we should be good. All right, and with the silicone dishes and the silicone brushes, you can just, I'm gonna set these pieces aside for a minute. You can just set this in there, just like that. There's a little ledge, and that will cure under the light. I am going to take just you can use any type of torch lighter, and we're just going to real quick go over it, which will get rid of any surface bubbles. Now I'm gonna take that, and I'm gonna put that under the UV lamp for about 120 seconds. So 2 minutes. And I will be back. Now, a way that you can check to see if your piece is cured without touching your piece is you can touch the stick, the silicone stick. If that feels cured, then we know that it's cured. And this one being black, because it is a darker color, it takes longer for that light to penetrate. So it still feels a little sticky. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it under there for about another minute. All right, so let's check and see now. Much better, not sticky, and that is also hard. So now we know that our base is ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this up. And if you're using silicone, these just pop right out, just like that. Any extra that you have in here, you can use like a piece of sticker paper or anything like that to clean them off. And if you can't get it off of your tool, I just take my knife and pry it up. Once you get it started, you should be able to just clean it off like that. And I got a piece of sticker paper here, and I'll show you how we clean that up. Just take it. You get the idea. Go all the way around, and that'll clean it up. I will do that later, but I just wanted to show you how that's done. Okay, so next we are going to apply our vinyl. So the white is going to go on the bottom, and if these don't stick, I noticed after I did put the transfer tape on that some of them weren't sticking to the transfer tape. That's not a problem. You can put a piece of transfer tape over top of it and or burnish it really good, and it will come off. So once you give it a good burnish, then it peels right off. So your Amuck Amuck is gonna go down here. Just like that. And you're going to line it up along the bottom. Next, we're gonna go ahead and put the orange on. Same thing, give it a good burnish. It should stick to that transfer tape. And if it doesn't, we'll get another piece. There it goes. You can there we go. And let's go ahead, and you're just going to line it up so that it looks like it is layered with the shadow behind it as best as you can. Try to get it perfect, but remember, crafting isn't perfect all the time. So there's that, and it still looks beautiful either way. So next on the left, over here by the A, is going to go the purple. And again, you're just going to line it up the best you can, following the edges of the blank. So there's our purple. Next, I do the yellow, and then the orange goes on top. And again, there's a little tail down here, so that's where the little tail of your yellow hair is going to go. There we go. We've got that one lined up. And lastly is the orange. And there you have it. And you could put the purple. The purple probably should have went on last over top of the orange, but you get the idea. All right, so lastly, now that we have that, we are going to go ahead and do our doming. So you're gonna take, again, your UV resin hard type, piece of glitter in there, and you're going to start from the center, again, making about roughly a nickel size piece this time. And we're going to take one of the silicone tip brushes, and again, you're going to work it out to the edges and try not to go over. And we're gonna again pull from the center. Pulling all the way down. All right, and it looks like we're probably going to need a little bit more resin here. I'm just brushing this out to the edges. Again, trying not to go over too bad. I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit more. And you can continue to add resin as you see fit. If you do get run over, just use a pair of needle nose like jewelry pliers and carefully bend it back and forth very slowly, very delicately, and that will then break that off. But you don't want to do it too harsh because you will break the blank. And I'm just adding little by little until I see that everything is covered. All right, and then what I do is I kind of look at it from the side, make sure I don't see anything not covered. And we're again gonna take our lighter or a small torch and just go over it quickly. You don't wanna put direct heat on it like that because you will burn the resin. We're just gonna let it sit for a minute and rest. This resin is self-leveling. Looks like I might need just a little bit more right there. In that area. So as you let it sit and rest, it will level itself out so that you don't have any funky spots or any lows. If you see any air bubbles, you can just click your lighter to get rid of them. Again, you don't want to put a lot of direct heat on it because you will burn your resin. All right, and then you're gonna let it sit for just a couple of minutes, make sure all of those bubbles come out. looking at it over and over. All right, and that looks good. So now we are going to go ahead. Oh, it looks like I got one more bubble there by the M. Sometimes it's little pieces of glitter, and it's hard to tell if it's glitter or a bubble. That one definitely is glitter. I'm just gonna hit it again since I touched it. All right, so next, again, we are going to go ahead and put it under our lamp for 120 seconds, and then we'll just check our tool and see if that is cured. So there we go. Have it under our lamp, and I will be back. All right, so let's check. The tip still is a little bit sticky on the other side, so I'm just going to go ahead and throw it in for a few more seconds here. So we'll just leave this running. So this will end up being a badge reel, and I have videos out on how to bead them. But I will also show you how to bead it here. I just have to get the items together. All right, let's see if that's better. Okay, so now that's cured. All right, which means that our Amuck 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 should be good. And to clean the silicone tips, just simply peel that off of there, and it's all clean. Put that back in our toolkit. All right, so yep, this feels pretty good. Now I do feel some run over because it's making me peel it up. So I have some run over here. Because Resin Rockers UV resin does continue to cure and we don't want to touch that, I always put something down so that I can put this on top so it doesn't get all the garbage picked up from here. So I'm going to use the, if I can find it, I was going to use the plastic bag that we had for this kit, but I don't know what I did with it. Oh, here it is. All right, so I'm just gonna lay it on top of this plastic bag so it won't stick to the bag and it won't pick up any of that residue and dust and whatnot. And we're gonna cure this back so that it's not sticky, and we can go ahead and peel that off. All right, let's go ahead and take that off. And now I'm just going to use these needle nose jewelry pliers. They have a really fine tip. And I'm gonna break off. As you can see, it didn't cause any damage there. I'm gonna go ahead and break off very carefully the overage pieces. Another one over here. All right, that looks pretty good. There's another one right here. You can tell when you look in the back where it's over. All right, and now we are going to, I would let this sit for probably a good 15-20 minutes before you put on the beads in the backing, just so you're not putting fingerprints on the actual reel itself, just as it continues to degas. All right, so to bead the badge reel, you have your badge reel here. We're gonna stretch that out. I always do a double check on them. I do check them before I send them to you guys. And pinch it there so that it stays in place. We're going to take a pair of pliers and pry the little, I call it the little V, apart. And we are going to push the string through so that the knot comes out. We're going to cut that off because we won't be needing that. Cut that into the garbage. And then take the little stopper and set that aside. All right, so now you have the string. I do recommend burning it just to melt the plastic, because it will make it easier for you to re-bead it once, or to re-thread it once you're done. So we have our beads, and we're just going, and remember you're working backwards. So whatever you put on first is going to be the top bead. Whatever you put on last is going to be the bottom bead. So we have our fancy bead here. We have some rhinestones. And we have the black flame bead. And next we're going to put our stopper back on. We need that so that nothing falls off. So everything is on. And we're going to tie this in a knot. It doesn't matter. I mean, I try to get as close to the end as possible, but that's not always possible. All right. And then we are going to put this back in. You just got to find out what's best, works best for you. I try to, why are these like stuck today? I try to you know, hold the pliers. These are like not working. Let me get some different ones. Some ones are yucky. Here we go, these ones work better. All right. So we're gonna hold this, maybe. Blooper. There we go. Kind of hold it snug. Put your end in there and then squeeze it back together. Again, whatever works for you. Just don't use your teeth. It's bad for them. All right. And then we are going to untwist this. So now your beads are on there. And then I recommend taking your Velcro, and you have two pieces. They're stuck together. Take off the protective layer. And I recommend putting that on the badge rail first. That will help you to center your top a little better. There's something stuck to that. All right, and I'm gonna place this and center it, and I'm gonna press on the edges because again, we don't wanna touch that. There's something on here that I'm gonna very carefully try to remove without scratching. There it goes. All right, and there you have it. Your Amuck Amuck Amuck. Enjoy.